Hey guys, welcome back to my CCLP5 submissions, and this is, I think, episode 11, if I remember my last upload correctly. This is chocolate-covered chocolate, which is something I probably wouldn't advise anyone eating because that doesn't sound nutritious. It actually doesn't sound good at all, even for chocolate lovers. I don't really care for chocolate, to be honest, but that's besides the point. So this level is it's one of those levels where I kind of built an aesthetic first and then I made the level second, which for a lot of Josh-CCLP5 and 6, especially 6, that was kind of the theme with that set, was make the aesthetic first and then the level second, which in this case I think worked out really well with this one. I definitely would not have come up with this kind of level without the aesthetic first. Other levels I have made since then, they definitely have their faults. This one's a pretty legit navigation challenge, though. In the Josh-CCLP6 Let's Play that JB did, this actually had a time limit of 450, which was low. I didn't have... Actually, I shouldn't say I didn't. I think back then time limits on levels weren't as much of a problem as they have become these days. I've noticed that's kind of been a really big thing when it comes to levels these days. Is one of the biggest downfalls of a level tends to be a time limit, which is weird because of all the things you can change in a level, or any designer can change in any level to improve it, the time limit is without a doubt the easiest. But yet that seems to be one of the most common things players gripe about, I guess. Yeah, it's definitely been a common thing with trading places, I've noticed. But most of it is justified. But yeah, it's just amusing how I guess it's like that. But I upped it to 600 in this, and for some reason Tile World does that with me. It'll randomly lock up, and yeah, it just did it again. I don't know what. Yeah, I did not do that for some. I don't know why, but Tile World just, it randomly locks up on me now, and it does like, it almost like it lags a little bit, and I don't know why it would lag, but it randomly does that. I've definitely noticed that come up with actually, I think this is the first time this has happened on camera, but it's definitely happened in some of the levels I've played in the ongoing Walls of CC1 set that is under development. I recently, actually earlier today, I played through some of JB's portions that he's made, and I'm not going to spoil them just on JB's behalf. If he wants them spoiled, he can do so himself, but from my play experience with them, if you liked Walls of CCLP1 or even some of the stuff in his JBLP2 set, you will definitely like a lot of what he's done with his portion of Walls of CC1. at least thus far. A lot of the stuff he's made has been exceptionally good. Like, it's been better than some of the stuff I've made. Okay, hopefully my computer won't screw me over with things outside of my control. There's something I've been realizing about myself these past couple years, and a lot of my shortcomings, not just with gaming or anything, but just in life in general, a lot of my shortcomings tend to fall under pretenses of things completely outside my control. As I mentioned in the last video with the car accident I got into, that was one instance. And right now, regarding that, I'm still waiting on my insurance to let me know about my car's repairability, which has been pretty frustrating, to say the least. It is literally the one and only thing holding me back from moving on with it, and there's nothing I can do about it, and it's very frustrating. I feel like I feel like I have to force to put my life on hold when I'm really in no position to do such a thing. But that's besides the point. Okay. So there's a few ways. There's 2 ways to get this chip right here. If I remember correctly, there's 2 different ways you can do it. And I think, yeah, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can blow this bomb up below me here and go around on the border to push this block here up where I'm standing. Push this block to the left and use that to blow that up. Or you can do what I just did and clear this path right here and loop all the way back around, assuming Tile World won't randomly lock up here. I should have cleared that dirt earlier. Oh well. And do this. I'm apparently missing 1 chip. So yeah, there's 2 different ways you can go about doing that. This is the other method. You can do this, do that, and go right there. So I've for the people that have played this level on camera, I've always mentioned, like, even the ones who have played this level just on their own time. That's something I've always commented on, that there's 2 ways to get that chip, and I've never known how to properly describe it, so those are the 2 ways you can get that 1 chip in this level, and that's chocolate covered chocolate. Alright, Ragged Mountain. Oh, here we go with the discussions on this one. Oh, where do I begin with this level? So, it shouldn't be any secret, but there might be some people that weren't around during CCLP4 voting or anything like that. It should be no secret, though, that this level was the highest rated level from CCLP4 voting that did not get included into CCLP4. And this block below you is holding down a trap button that connects to the trap in view. Now, there has to be some kind of explanation to why this is, because this actually has upset quite a few people. I can already think of 1 person right off the bat, and if they're watching this, you know exactly who you are. Why on earth did this level not get included? And I remember the rating this got. This got like 4.35. from voting. So this really had no reason not to be in CCLP4. But it's like, well, why did it get... How come it didn't get in the set then? Well... Oh, I messed that up. There's only really two main reasons why. One of which I kind of do regret, but the other one I still think is justified when it comes to what did get into CCLP4. I still think that reasoning is justified, but the other one is more not so much. And the unjustifiable reason would be I was basically the one that didn't want this in CCLP4, or didn't think it needed to be. And the reason why was there were already quite a few gravel heavy levels for CCLP4 selection. I distinctly remember it was between this and In the Walls of Gravel Castle. And I think I was a lot more leaning towards In the Walls of Gravel Castle over this, because they were fairly similar levels in a lot of aspects. They were both gravel themed, they were both fairly linear and almost equal in length. And at the time, I didn't think there was a place in the set for both levels. Now, you're probably thinking, I'm going to oof that to eliminate slide delay. Now you're probably thinking, well, that shouldn't be really much of a problem if they're spaced out well enough. And you would be correct. If Rag Mountain still got into CCLP4 with Gravel Castle as well, they definitely would have been spaced out 100%. But at the time, I think a lot of it was overthinking on not just my part, but a lot of the CCLP4 staff's part. We were pretty concerned about the difficulty of the set, and in a lot of ways we really overthought it, and we ended up just basically making CCLP1 Part 2, which I don't really take a lot of pride in, I have to admit. I think CCLP4 could have gotten away with being a lot more difficult than what it ended up being, but there was a lot of overthinking involved with that. And that's kind of the reason why Rag Mountain got shafted, was a lot of it was overthinking the difficulty of the set. Now this level in particular is not that difficult. It's honestly fairly simple when it comes down to it. It's so that kind of just reassures that a lot of it was just overthinking, and that there definitely was a spot for both this level and In the Walls of Gravel Castle. Similar to how both Shuffling and Pushover could have been in CCLP4, but there was that whole infamous debate on only one could be in, because we didn't want the set to have so many Sokobans, when in all honesty, it didn't have that many. So yeah, I think that's one of the shortcomings that my experience with CCLP4 had, was there was a lot of overthinking with how the set was going to be finalized. A lot of fears it was going to be another CCLP3, or like another CCLP3, even though we were all pretty confident that wasn't going to be the case. We still somehow had that fear in our heads about it. and just the similarities between this and the walls of Gravel Castle. That being said, though, I tried to make sure the exclusion of that being in CCLP4 is basically going to get redemption for CCLP5. A lot of people have said that this level is mostly without a doubt a shoe-in to CCLP5. Like, it shouldn't even be in voting. It should just be automatically included. And I can't say for sure, but I mean, I'm 95% sure this will be in CCLP5 just based off redemption alone. But while I hope that's not the case, I did take advantage of the fact that this didn't get included, and I did make some pretty welcome changes. I didn't point them out, but I'll go ahead and restart the level and go ahead and show those off real quick. I know it's probably pointless, but I've already solved it, so I could just move on right after showing them. So this starting part is the same. A little, maybe some minor design adjustments here and there, but roughly the same. Was an instance of the lagging crap again. Actually, I probably don't even need to replay this. If I die again, I'll just go back on I'll just play back my solution, or go back to certain parts of the solution if I die again. But here, I'll go ahead and showcase some of the things I changed. So you can see down there that green door right here. That was not there originally. That was a straight up ice tile. I put that there because I figured it would make it more clear where to go once you get the green key. Because I distinctly remember from JB's Let's Play when he played this level, when this wasn't here, he didn't know what to do, even though I thought it was obvious you had to get the skates. And because I couldn't put a green lock right here, because I wanted this block dodging thing to use both the pop-up walls to be in place. If I put a green lock here, it would have made that completely pointless. So I put the green lock here to make it a little bit more evident where you had to go when you get the green key, which was to get the skates, dodge the block, and go down there. So that's a change I made. The other change I made was this right here. So this used to be like right like this little L shape. That used to all be forest floors, and there's a pretty bad slide delay cook where after you get the suction boots, I think. Yeah, when you push this block on the forest floor and you get the suction boots, if you don't oof that and eliminate the slide delay would cause the sliding block you get from down here to get stuck right here if you followed it immediately. So I removed that and just put a single forest floor to remove that cook possibility in MS. Other things I changed were, and I think right here I'll just go ahead and go back to the solution file. The hint was changed slightly. The position of it was changed. This is all the same. That's all the same. This is the same. The ball dodging is the same. And right here is probably the only other significant change I made. So all these walls right here were pop-up walls. And I've never seen, even myself playing the level over and over again for all those years, I've never used these pop-up walls before. They were only there to, I guess, make the dodging section easier because it was a walker, but the walker is honestly not much of an issue in any capacity. So I just made them walls. And I think that's the only other change I made to this for CCLP5. So if anything, it not being in CCLP4 was just going to make it a stronger CCLP5 choice. So look at it that way, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, let's do Piston It Away. Oh, this level. I genuinely do not know how I made this. this is a really solid level. So this is one of the walls of CCLP1 levels I made. This uses colors for extreme, and I really don't remember how I made this or how it was made into to be like this, but it just ended up happening, and yeah, it's a pretty solid level, I think. I think when it comes to toggle wall levels, they can be pretty tough to make. They're not that's not the easiest genre of level category to make a level for, in my opinion. Because toggle wall levels, they do require you to think on two different layers at the same time. And especially when you involve block pushing and item swapping and stuff. Well, actually, item swapping is doesn't make it that much more challenging, but adding block pushing makes it a little bit more so. Okay, so gotta push that. Even this little puzzle, I don't know how I made it, but I still did, and I love it. And I messed it up. I don't think I've ever messed that part up on my own before. You know, it's kind of funny. Before I started recording this, I was debating even if I wanted to record or not, because a lot of the reasoning why I don't record as much anymore is admittedly because I don't really know what to talk about. And it's especially it's especially more of a challenge with this kind of thing because it's my own levels, and you know, I have to try to make it seem like I'm not being a narcissist and I'm playing my levels for the sake of playing my levels to make it look like I'm full of myself or something, which is not the case. You know, as I've made very clear, this is something that has to be done. Whether I do this on camera or off camera, I have to do it, so I might as well just do it on camera. Give some people something to watch if they care enough to. Okay, let's see if I can do this correctly. So I think what I'm going to do is this one. Because the goal is you have to get this block to blow that bomb up there. So let's do this. And then that. Don't ask me how I made this, I just did. Like, I really wish I remembered how this level was built. I just don't. This red button is one-time use for the Fireball clone machine. Toggle walls will flip briefly shortly upon being pressed. Thankfully, the frequency of the toggle walls is fairly forgiving. Okay. So with this green key, I can go up here, be forced to change this, and then go here to get some fire boots. And then I can go up here, which lets me do this, hold that down. Okay, this is the part where it's a little tricky, but it's not too bad. So it's not entirely obvious, and I've debated using it. I think the hint is correct in describing the toggle wall flipping. But this section is a little questionable. I mean, I don't think anyone's really complained about it, but it's different with MS and Lynx, and it's not made known without knowing about it. So in order to get this block, you have to flick it off the toggle wall in MS, and in Lynx you have to block slap it while the toggle walls are open. I don't know, if there was a way I could incorporate a second hint in this, I definitely would with that, but I just can't. All right, do this. And this is pretty simple. That is piston away. Honestly, this is one I definitely want to see in CCLP5. I love this level. I take a lot of pride. Not a lot of pride, but I'm very proud of how this turned out and how I used the space and made a freaking toggle wall level of all things. Like, I think this was the first real toggle wall level I've ever made, and yeah, I think it's a pretty good one, and it references Crash 2, so it wins in that regard. All right, Sit a Dark Isle. So this is the level that originally started Josh-CCLP5. This was the first level I ever made for that, and then that was very shortly followed by Keyboard Malfunction, which is what got into CCLP4. Okay, I don't know how many keys I have, but I think I have quite a bit. So the title references a, I think if I remember correctly, it's the last place in Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. I haven't played that game in a couple years. I should really play that game again. That is a fantastic freaking Pokemon game. That trade doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but yeah, I'll do it, because why not? And where is the last one? Okay, I still have 2 keys. It's over there. I think you... Really, game? This key used to be under a block, but I removed the block because it wasn't necessary. Freaking game. I'm just gonna collect that right now. I still have a key, and that's all that matters. I'll collect that as well. I'll wait on that one. That takes 2 keys to use. Is there anywhere else I can use? That takes 2 as well. I think I have 2 left. I'm pretty sure I have 2 left. This isn't a really strict level that requires a whole lot of thought. Just, I mean, a little bit of care, but... Oh, I only have 1. Okay, good thing I didn't try. Can I get 2 anywhere? I actually don't remember how to solve this. I don't remember it being difficult, but it's been a while since I've played this. And it's a little fitting because Dark Isle in the Pokemon game is it's a pretty intense final boss location. Yeah, I don't think I can get that chip safely. Yeah. Alright, yeah, I don't... Maybe I collected the chips too early. Maybe I was supposed to... Maybe I intended on that being done as a final step or something. Oh, I think maybe I was supposed to go through this, actually. So maybe that... Yeah, that is a little bit more specific than I remember. Regardless, I don't know. On one hand, I like this. I've always liked this level a lot more than Keyboard Malfunction, but I know Keyboard Malfunction is the more preferred one because it's easier and gets the concept across fairly well. I think that's what I was supposed to do because you do get a key out of it. So I think the rest of this should be pretty simple. As for getting into CCLP5, I have my doubts that this will get in. If only because Keyboard Malfunction already got in to an official set. And I did not get that chip. Wow, I am really failing on this level. Of all the levels I expected to play today, I didn't think this would be one of them. Or I didn't think this one would trip me up the way the amount it has. Maybe I'm just too distracted by my own talk. Oh yeah, you do have to do that. That's something I forgot to do. But I mean, if people like this and, you know, it's liked enough to get into CCLP5, you know, that's great. But I don't think this will get in. Because Keyboard Malfunction, while it is easier, it just gets the concept across it in the simplest way possible. You know, this adds a little bit extra to it. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, that's Dark Isle. Insect Aftermath. Oh yeah, this maze-like level with some bugs in it. So I think I used the template for this level. I think it was... Oh, what level was it I used for this? I wish I could remember off the top of my head. But I know this uses a wall template. But, yeah, I wanted to make a somewhat obstructed maze that had bugs and paramecia circling around that you had to dodge, with some dirt that added to the obscurity, or the visual impairment is probably a better term. And honestly, that's the only reason why I submitted this. I don't think this will even get into voting, but you know, I like it for that reason. Plus, I really don't make enough levels with bugs and paramecia.
Bummer.
Yeah, that's probably why. I am failing like a... Well, I'm trying to cut back on the swearing in my videos, but I am not playing very well tonight. Yeah, I have to be honest. Being home all the time has been a real slog. I kind of feel for the people that were forced to stay home when the pandemic started and that whole stay-at-home order was in play and still is in play in some places in the world. Because with me, I have to have a car to work. I can't work without a car. My job is 100% dependent on having a vehicle, and if I don't have a vehicle, I can't do anything. Thankfully, my line of work is freelance, so it's not like I'm out of a job or like I had to quit or something like that. I had to stop doing what I was doing until some amount of progress is made on this auto claim of mine. And I'm not going to try to talk too much about this type of stuff because it is more personal, and at the end of the day, a lot of people don't really care for your personal matters, especially if it doesn't involve you. So and I understand that completely. Sometimes talking about personal matters in videos like this can be a little uncomfortable for a viewer because it's like they don't know what to say, and it can just be awkward, and I'm not trying to make it awkward. It's just conversation, I guess. Indirect conversation. Like, you know how some YouTubers go like, hey, how's it going, guys? You know, they have that parasocial relationship through a YouTube video. I don't know. Some people don't care for that. Me, myself, I feel like it's a pretty healthy thing, in my opinion. Like, you want to interact with the people that like your stuff or like you for who you are and stuff like that. And you know, I think there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, some people despise it. They feel like it's weird or it can get too complicated, and it can get pretty complicated in a lot of ways. But if you're just selective with who you interact with and who you trust the most, you know, then I don't see any real problem with it. So at least with my YouTube videos, it's kind of like, I guess it's trying to do a little bit of both. Like, not be overkill with the type of stuff, but also not being like completely like oh, I hate all you know, I don't care if you like my content or not. Like I don't think I can ever be that way. Like, I'm doing this because I want to, which is true, I am, but you know, it it also matters that people like what I do. Because if people don't like what I do, then what's the point of doing it? It's, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm talking about. Well, at least I'm talking, right? Anyway, this is Explosive Chamber. Quite a few people actually like this, and it still kind of surprises me to this day. I was honestly really torn on. Well, actually, no. I knew I wanted to submit this. What I was torn about doing was resizing the level and not make it take up the whole map. I remember. Man, I am not playing good today. I'm sorry. Wow. I think I've died or restarted on every single level today. Yeah, prior to submitting this, like I knew I wanted to, but I debated on shrinking down the level a little bit, not make it take up the whole map. I ultimately decided not to do that for a couple of reasons. One of which being I don't think this level. Nice. I don't think this level would really have the same effect if it was smaller scaled. I could be wrong on that, and someone could probably make this kind of level on the smaller scale and it could be even better. But in my design style, I just didn't really see how to do it. Now, I really like this level, and I do feel like it would be better smaller scaled. I guess it was one of those moments in my design career where it's like it's one of these types of concepts where you don't really know what the right balance could be, because some levels are better when they take up the whole map. Other levels benefit from not taking up the whole map. And it's one of those things where you as a designer, you kind of have to make that choice on your own to whether or not some level should be small or some level should be large. And with this kind of level, I think with how many options you have, like there are so many blocks in this level, and so many different ways to go about solving this. Like you can have some balls blow up certain bombs. You can have all the blocks blow up all the bombs to keep all the balls alive. Though I don't know why anyone would want to do that. It's definitely an easier level if you kill as many balls as you can. But my point is, on a smaller scale, you probably couldn't really have as much flexibility as you would when it's full size like this. And again, I could be completely wrong, but and you can even trap the balls like up here and just get rid of them. Like there's just so many different options to go about this level. Okay, finally that ball is dead. I know I have like an entire left half or right half to do still. Okay. I'll wait for it right here. I also did increase the time limit slightly. Not by a lot, because I didn't want to make this like 9.99 time limit. But the time limit is a little bit more forgiving. Yeah, I didn't have a bomb to go to. Okay, we'll just block you. Okay, let me go over here to do this. We're just gonna block that. And block you as well. Get you blown up. Yeah, sorry for like the random topics and stuff. Like none of it was planned. It just kind of came to my head. But it kind of seems like there's been some positive reception to the Walls of CC1 project, which has been good. I'm glad people seem to be pretty excited about another new set coming up. I felt kind of bad because I didn't tell JB or VT about this, but I felt a little bad because shortly after this project was announced, Indy messaged me on Discord saying he wanted to join in on the project because I guess he thought the project was open source and anyone can join in at any time, when it was initially meant to just be, well, it was initially meant to be a two-person project, but as the results have shown, there being a third person has definitely added a lot to the set. Because if it was still just me and VT, we would only have 30 levels total right now. Okay, I'm just going to let you go up and blow that bomb up there for me. And there we go. That has every chip. And I know this column is clearer. There we go. That is explosive chamber. Because the only reason JB got on was because he just so happened to share a level he made out of a CC1 template that neither me or VT had used yet. And that kind of made bear the question that, you know, maybe a two-person collab with this kind of set template is a little bit more for us to handle, like biting off more than we can chew. So I think adding JB was very much appreciated and very much justified to push the set even further and kind of get the momentum it needed, because it definitely had a very slow start when it was first discussed and worked on. So when Indy approached me that he wanted to join, I did have to say it was exclusively just a three-person collab, because if we added a fourth person, that would make the level distribution or level amount to make per person a lot lower than what it currently is, because right now it's a solid 49 apiece in like a couple of collaborations that is planned. If we added a fourth, we'd have to adjust that, which means it'd be less for us to make individually, and in some cases that could be good, but I think in this case, I think 3 people is just the right amount. And I would like to keep it as 3, because if we added a fourth, then it kind of, I feel like it'd be more of a mess, and I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it in that regard, but you know, I like it being just 3 people. And I felt bad for basically shutting it down, but you know, don't let that stop you from making Walls of CC1 stuff yourself. Anyway, this is Flameboy Color. I love this level. I love key levels like this. There used to be fire boots in this level, actually. But I removed them because you can actually solve this level without fire boots, which I think is really interesting. You could probably even solve it without these pop-up walls. Like, these pop-up walls could probably just be normal walls, and you could still solve this too, but I haven't tested that one out. Now this is just straight up key collection, chip collection fun, and I love levels like this. I find them fun to play. They're colorful. If anyone doesn't know, I love color. I think color is one of the best things in life. And that's why I make a lot of aesthetic heavy levels, is because I love the things, well, I love the way things look sometimes, and CC levels is definitely one of those things that I very much love the way they can look. I'm actually gonna go this way. Okay, this is actually a little complicated because I have very limited options now. Oh, I had more than one yellow. So I don't think that would have helped me. Let's see, where can I go? Yeah, this kind of concern has never happened with me before. I can go up there and get a red, but I don't know how many yellows I have. Guess I can go up here and check. And there was like no specific way I made this either. I just placed random keys and locks all over the place, and it was one of those levels where it was very random how I made it. Okay, well, I can go in there and get a yellow, but I'm just gonna end up spending one. Okay, I can get a second blue. That's nice. Okay, I can get that. So I have one of each again. And the time limit is pretty short too, so you do have to be alert. Okay, there's nothing up here. Honestly, if I screw up on this level, I'm not gonna be upset. Like, this is a lot of fun to play. No matter how many times you replay it, I have fun with it. Oh, I could have gone down here. Oh, okay. Oh, come on. So look at that. I almost got me right into the fire, too. And this is the level I really shouldn't be dying on, but if I do, I do. Okay. Try to use the green key as much as possible. Okay, good. And exit. That is Flame Boy color completed. Love it. I'm gonna give this a 5, hands down. It's just fun. Plus, it references Game Boy Color. Like, a lot of people say, like, oh, is it a reference to Flame Boy from CCLP2? No, it's a reference to Game Boy Color, which is one of the handheld consoles that is a very important part of my childhood. So that's another reason why I like it. So I think with that, I'm going to stop it here at Daydreamer's Maze, which is a fairly lengthy level, but an otherwise pretty enjoyable one at that. And I will probably just stop the recording and just go on for another one, because I'm fairly talkative and I feel like giving it a shot. So we will see. But thanks for watching or listening, guys. I appreciate it. And stay tuned for the next part coming up. And with that, take care and see you later.